What is up, guys? So excited for this episode because today we're gonna dive into the DIY renovation that took this kitchen from this to this.
We're going to share all of the materials used and exactly how much everything costs. No gatekeeping here.
But before we get into it, make sure you're subscribed to this channel because there's gonna be a lot more of this in future episodes. Now, do me a favor, pause this video and take your best shot at trying to guess what you think this kitchen renovation cost us.
When we first toured this house, we knew this kitchen had a lot of potential and was one of the rooms we were most excited about. So when we finally closed, we didn't waste any time getting to work.
Our original plan was to paint the wood paneling, do new flooring, cabinets, and new appliances, but like many old homes, what started out as a quick cosmetic update turned into a full gut.
We found faulty wiring, old plumbing issues, and we were hit with problem after problem. But after many long weekends, we started to see some progress.
Demo was fairly inexpensive because we did it ourselves, but we did have to pay dump fees. It's hard to estimate really how much that came out to for this room, specifically because we renovated the house all at once. But just for the sake of the video, we'll say about $125. We would just load up our pickup truck and bring it over to our local county dump, and each trip cost about 30 to 40 bucks.
We took a lot of trips. The first big change that we made was to close in this corner window. And while I'm a huge fan of natural light and hated doing this, it did allow for us to create a true L-shaped kitchen, which is more functional and provides more storage.
Closing in that rear facing window cost about 200 bucks. That included 2x4s, 2 sheets of plywood, and new siding and paint for the exterior.
While we were at it, we replaced the 2 remaining windows above the sink with vinyl double hungs. Each window was about $150 and then another $50 in lumber and other materials.
Next up, my absolute least favorite, sheetrock. We were originally gonna do this ourselves, but this house really took a toll on us mentally and physically at that point. And this was by far the best money that we spent. I hate sheetrock, I hate spackling, and what would have taken us weeks to do, these guys got it done in half the time. And it was absolutely money well spent. This ran us about 200 bucks to hang and 200 bucks to tape and spackle. Plus the cost of the sheetrock at $250, and the total is $650.
Simple math, I'm impressed.
I know.
With the new sheetrock up, our painter came in. Both paints that we use are Benjamin Moore. We did intense white on the walls, and you'll see a little later on when we talk about baseboard and trim that we did decorator white on those. We use this combination in every one of our units, and we absolutely love it. We think it gives a nice, crisp, neutral look. Again, hard to calculate exactly how much just this room costs because we had him paint the whole house, but basic math tells me it was around $300 for labor and paint.
Then we moved on to the floors, and we used the same product throughout this entire first floor, which is Life-Proof Luxury Vinyl Plank, or LVP, in the color Dusk Cherry. So, when we bought it, we picked it up at Home Depot for $3.10 a square foot. But thanks to inflation and supply chain issues, right now at Home Depot, it's actually up to $3.39 a square foot, which I think is pretty crazy.
It's totally crazy. It's like a little game. We go to Home Depot and we're like, do you think it went up?
And it had been going up steadily every time we went there.
Yeah. So it was pretty easy to go down. Our dog Bodhi has ran and slid all over these floors and it's held up really great. If you want to deep dive into these floors, check out our LVP install videos. And this upgrade, it only cost us like $500, which I think is pretty good.
That is so great. Next step was to hang the cabinets. We used to use IKEA cabinets, which we honestly have been huge fans of. They've held up really well in our other rental units. But we decided to try a different ready-to-assembled cabinet called J&K in white shaker style.
Since we usually use IKEA, the install was a bit different. We ended up tacking up a ledger board to support the cabinets while we hung them, screwed them together, attached the doors, and added brushed chrome handles.
We got these handles from Amazon, which are pretty much identical to their Home Depot counterpart and are a fraction of the cost. Highly recommend them.
Now this kitchen doesn't really have any pantry space, so to maximize storage, we actually created a dry bar on the other side of the double windows. This is a main walkway from the basement out to the back, so we opted to use upper cabinets as base cabinets because they're a little bit more shallow, and then we built them up and out a tad just to match the standard counter height of 36 inches. All of the cabinets, plus finish panels, plus crown molding, and the toe kicks was $4,800.
It's always nerve-wracking trying a new product, but these really might be our new go-tos. Since we're house hacking this place, our main goal was to get this kitchen just functional so that we can move in. So while we would normally do crown molding and kick plates next, we saved those cosmetic updates for later.
So with the cabinets fully installed, it was countertop time. We took a visit to our friend Hugo at Boss Granite, and we decided on a white quartz Calcutta stone. They came out a few days later for a template, and then a few days after that for install. It was super quick, and having countertops truly changes the space. For both the L-shaped section and the dry bar, the countertop cost was $1,900.
I highly recommend, if you're in the South Jersey area, check him out. He is awesome, awesome. By the time you call him, come out template and get it installed. We've worked with maybe a couple other countertop companies. They are the fastest and most efficient. They're awesome.
Totally agree. And at this time, we mounted our huge American Standard undermount sink and installed this American Standard hands-free faucet. We actually did a collaboration with American Standard, so these were free. Thank you so much, American Standard. Links to everything are in the description below.
It was also at this time that we installed the appliances. Since moving in, we've been cooking on the grill outside, and while it's been quite nice frying up some eggs in the morning sun, it was really becoming a little bit cold outside, so I was pretty excited to have some indoor cooking.
We bought all of the appliances from PC Richard & Sons. The Whirlpool Range was $560, the Whirlpool Dishwasher was $550, the Whirlpool Microwave was $240, and the LG fridge was $1,300. And the mini fridge and the dry bar was from Home Depot, and that was $300.
Next up, we tackled the custom floating shelves above the dry bar. We showed this back in a previous episode, but these are just ripped down 2x4 framing that we lagged into the studs and then wrapped that framing in pine 1x.
After Kyle built them, it took us forever to decide on a stain color. We wanted it to look natural, but still finished, and after many failed attempts, we landed on a custom mixture of Minwax Puritan Pine and Pickled Oak. The exact recipe we'll put down in the description below.
Ooh, recipe.
Nice. Fancy.
These doubled as great storage and adds a really, really nice visual contrast to the white cabinets and countertops. These cost roughly $70 a shelf for lumber and stain.
Speaking of this extremely white color scheme we have going on, we were really torn what to do with the backsplash. White would be more timeless and work well for future tenants, but we felt the space needed a pop of color.
It took some back and forth, a lot of back and forth.
I think I made like 5 trips to Floor & Decor.
These 4x16 sea blue ceramic tiles made the cut. I mean, we absolutely love them. We sourced them from Floor & Decor, and they were $1.79 a piece. We then used a light gray grout and finished it off with a metal Schluter trim for a more modern look compared to the bullnose. All needed materials and tools came out to $275.
At this point, we were finally in the home stretch. The main items left to do were crown molding, baseboard, and kick plates. I used our Graco paint sprayer to paint everything first because nothing drives me more insane in the world than painting trim after it's already been installed. I did have some issues, as one does with a sprayer, but eventually we got it figured out. What's wrong with you?
Oh, I looked down the barrel of a gun.
We really love the tall baseboard look, so we installed 5.5-inch baseboard, a standard stock profile base cap, and shoe mold.
Considering this was all of like 10 feet, the cost is almost negligible, but let's just say $30.
This was our first time doing crown molding on our cabinets, and honestly, this is a job that you folks out there can tackle. If you're looking to upgrade older cabinets with paint, think about throwing crown molding up too. When I look at it now, I can't believe we haven't done it before. With little money out of pocket, it really gives these cabinets a beautiful finished look.
Not mentioned up until this point is plumbing and electric. We didn't do everything ourselves. We did bring in some subs. So we added recessed lighting to the ceiling, which is about $500. And then we had rough and finished plumbing, which is about $1,000. We just had to move and reposition a few lines. And so that's why that cost was up a little bit. The total cost of this DIY kitchen renovation is, good drums, $13,570. You could do this kitchen for a more affordable cost. You could do it for a higher budget.
And we definitely would have done it on a better budget had we not been living here. We did add some things that we wouldn't normally add. Our refrigerator is an upgraded one, mainly because of supply chain issue and because we just wanted a larger fridge, and we were living here and we were planning to stay here for a few years. The dry bar, we did put that beverage fridge in there. We wouldn't normally have done that.
Just a few little updates that we wouldn't necessarily do if it was a strict rental in a different market. This is a very good market, and we felt like we made good decisions for this market.
Correct. So this is very exciting for us and you folks out there, because we do get the question all the time, DIY versus hiring out. Since this is a side-by-side duplex, we have that vacant unit next door that we're renovating right now. The paint is up and kitchen cabinets are getting delivered soon. So you're gonna be able to see a full side-by-side cost breakdown of what you're saving on labor, DIYing it yourself, and then hiring out, and where your time is best spent.
I'm so excited to see those numbers because the kitchens are almost identical.
Yeah.
We are making a few different material choices to save some money, but for the most part,
we found a new supplier, so we are kind of going through the motions with them to try to find a good stock shaker style cabinet that, like our paint and like our flooring, we just flow through every single unit the exact same. I'd like to get to the same place with kitchens.
So if you're into hearing more about DIY versus hiring out, seeing those exact numbers, time frame, how much money is saved or spent, hit the subscribe button because we're gonna have a lot of that coming up. And if you just wanna follow our real estate investing journey, subscribe to that as well.
So we'll see you guys next time.